attended Trainer Academy or any of our online classes, you know I have thoughts about PowerPoint. So many of us use PowerPoint as our main tool to deliver a presentation. We fill it with information and then speak through it. I just attended an online conference, and that's all every session was. I recently learned there's a name for a PowerPoint disguised as an informational document, a slidedocument. I review a lot of PowerPoints in my work, and there are a lot of slidedouments out there in our learning programs, which means we are not maximizing what people are learning. There's a better way. In fact, adult learning research tells us there's a better way if we want to center the people we're trying to engage and move to action. So while it's great that you have excellent content, let's talk about the 4 reasons why it's important to spend some time on the design side of building a great presentation. First, graphics trigger emotions and attention. So much of what we're trying to do is build social connection with people. That's particularly important online. Engagement and attention mean they learn more. So second, graphics in combination with narration increases brain processing. I've talked many times about this idea. You have multiple channels into your brain. You have an auditory channel that picks up what you hear. You have visual channels that pick up text and graphics that you see. The most powerful combination of these channels is graphics plus narration. You see an image, you hear me talking about it. Your brain isn't stressed trying to read something while I'm talking. When you do this right, they learn more. Third, graphics deepen the complexity of information that you can share without brain overload. There's only so much you can put into a grouping of words. Graphics allow us to present multidimensional information in a clean way. I've experienced this many times in my curriculum development work. If we can give them more information in the same amount of time, they learn more. So finally, graphics are particularly helpful with novices. People new to something need that added boost that comes from a graphic. It helps them to make sense of what you're teaching them. It gives them an orientation to how this idea fits into the big picture. Experts don't need the boost because they already have mental models. They have a sophisticated understanding about what you're talking about. Bottom line, people new to a topic need graphics to learn more. Have you heard that refrain? They learn more. We are working really hard to help them learn. They are working really hard to absorb what we're giving them. When we use graphics and design effectively, we don't have to work as hard. They don't have to work as hard to learn what they need to know. So that's why it matters. Let's talk briefly about how to do this. First, good design starts away from a computer. Never start a presentation by opening up PowerPoint and choosing a template. Sit at a desk with white paper and a pencil. Invest time in good instructional design. We have resources to help. Second, think about color. An effective use of color helps you add a little zip into your presentation. It can brand the information to you without putting your logo on every slide. That is distracting. You can use color for navigation so people know where you are and know where you're going. Of course, be mindful not to overly rely on color. We want to make sure that we are inclusive to the many people who experience color blindness. Next, think about your text format. This is where you want to do some standardization so words aren't every which way on the screen. Templates can help here. Sans serif fonts like Arial are easier to read. Left aligned is easier to read. So titles can be center aligned, but everything else should be left aligned. At this point, you essentially have your style guide, colors and text. What else? So my next 2 suggestions go hand in hand. First, edit, edit, edit. Cut down all superfluous information. Remember, you are not creating a slidedocument. You are not writing down your talking points. Put those someplace else. You are creating a high-level visual that people will use to follow along with what you're saying. So here's the tag team idea with that. Little controversial here. Try not to use bullet points with that well-edited down content. There are a million ways to organize information without using bullet points. So I came up with 16 and loaded a slide deck for you on my website. Go to nancybacon.com/resources. Free, grab it. It's time to revolutionize your PowerPoint presentation, which is what you'd be doing if you avoided bullet points. Finally, manage repetition. On one hand, you want some repetition because if I'm expecting the same thing over and over again, I get to think less. But thinking less might lead to less engagement, less attention, and therefore less learning and less memory. That's bad. So we need to manage the repetition. We need to lean into that tension between repeating styles and structure, but not too much that it gets boring. So join us for graphics and design and learning if you want to dive more into these ideas. Reach out if you have any questions. Thank you for being a part of our community.